Hi, I'm Rich Torrey. Welcome to another Level Up Cartooning. All you ever need to follow along with me is a pencil and paper. It doesn't get any easier than that, right? Last week we drew both the children's book and movie versions of the character Lyle Lyle Crocodile, which got me thinking about all the other children's book characters that have been brought to life through animation. And the first one that came to mind comes from one of my favorite books growing up of all time. In fact, I still have the version my great-grandparents gave me when I was 5, the story of Ferdinand. Originally published way back in 1936, and no, I was not alive back then. The story was written in about 40 minutes by the author Monroe Leaf and illustrated by Robert Lawson. The story was an instant bestseller, at one point even outselling Gone with the Wind. Since then, it has gone on to be published in 60 languages and has been named one of the 100 best children's book of all time. In 1938, Disney Studios won an Academy Award for an animated short version of the story. And in 2017, Blue Sky Studio remade a beautifully animated, extended full-length CGI version of the story. Today, I thought it would be fun and challenging to draw the original 1936 Robert Lawson-style version of Ferdinand, as well as the version of Ferdinand from the 2017 movie, which definitely borrowed some design elements from the 1938 Disney cartoon version. Anyway, before we get started, make sure you hit the thumbs up and the subscribe button as it helps this channel to grow, and hit the bell so you never miss a lesson. Alright, so let's draw the book and movie version of Ferdinand. We're going to draw our flower-sniffing bull step by step, giving you the secret formula to be able to draw him again and again. If you've watched any of my other videos, you know I normally use the character's head to figure out how big the entire character is. In both versions of our bull, Ferdinand will be close to 3.5 heads tall. In other words, however tall his head is, not counting his horns, his entire body will be about 3.5 of those. Okay? So let's draw the roadmap for our two versions of Ferdinand the bull. So there's our roadmap for our two versions of Ferdinand. Now we're on to step 2. In this step we do what I call roughing out the features. I want to remind you that until the third and final step, you want to draw as light as possible. You'll see that I use guidelines to help you to know where to put some of Ferdinand's features. We don't want those guidelines in the final drawing, so you want to draw them light enough to be able to erase them easily. Okay? So let's rough out the features for our two versions of Ferdinand. Okay, so they're the roughed out features of our two versions of Ferdinand the Bull. So now with the roadmap done and the features roughed out, it's time for that final step. In step 3, we get to have fun. We get to draw in the final details of our book and movie versions of Ferdinand. We don't have to guess where to put things because we've already done all the hard work to figure that out. In this step, it's okay to draw darker, but don't press too hard or mindlessly retrace over the lines you've already drawn. Always draw with an eye on tweaking and improving until the very end. One quick note. You notice that after I finish the basic final details of both bulls, I will go back and add some finer cross-hatching type elements and details to the original children's book version of Ferdinand to better approximate the look of that classic Robert Lawson illustration. He drew it in pen and ink. I'm using a pencil, so it won't be exact. Just wanted to point that out. Okay, so let's draw in the details of our two versions of Ferdinand. Alrighty, there they are, the children's book and movie versions of the legendary Ferdinand the Bull. So how do you think you did? Understand, if you've never drawn any version of Ferdinand, or any bull for that matter, you cannot expect to have drawn them perfectly. You'll notice that while I did crosshatch and shade some of the original version of Ferdinand, I don't spend time coloring our Ferdinands during this video because my goal is to always focus my lesson more on the drawing process. But now you have the secret formula, the process for drawing the children's book and movie versions of Ferdinand the Bull. And with that, you can draw them again and again. And by all means, color them when you're done. I promise each time you draw them, it'll be a little better and a little easier. I also promise the more you work with me, the better you're going to get at all of your cartoon characters. For those of you who want to go a little deeper, click on the link below for my free 4-part drawing series, where I spend more time explaining the details and the thinking behind each step in what I call the level up cartooning process. So I'd love to see your two versions of Ferdinand. If you can, post them on either Facebook or Instagram, and don't forget to include the hashtag #levelupcartooning. I hope you had as much fun as I did with this one. Remember to subscribe, and thanks for joining me. Until next time, keep drawing, my friends.